Today on Slough School.
Hey, what's up? Today on Slough School, we're going to be testing the quality of the water in West Whitaker Pond. This sheet is going to help you do this experiment. So just for a moment, write down your best guesses to these things, like this example right here.
Hello! Welcome back to Slough School. Today on Slough School we'll be doing some water quality testing. Around us we have the beautiful Whitaker Ponds Nature Park run by Portland Parks and Recreation. So today we'll be going through water quality, and we have these water quality bags that we usually use when we're out in the fields at the Columbia Slough Watershed Council. So I'm going to just give you a quick introduction of things that we have in there. We have our wastewater. We have our dissolved oxygen kit. We have our pH kit. It's important to put it this side up. We have 2 thermometers. We have a turbidity tube. And we have a cup. And we'll be using all of these today in our test to see if this has good water quality or not. What we'll be doing is we're going to be taking our temperature. I'm going to use this little cup. I'm going to put both the thermometers in here. I know that they're working. I'm going to let that sit for 1 minute. Hey, so as we're waiting for the temperature to do its thing, we are going to take our dissolved oxygen reading, and this is our dissolved oxygen kit. If you want to come a little bit closer, we can look and see this together. So we have these vials, which are different shades of blue, and it tells us how much dissolved oxygen is in this in parts per million. So this is right at 25, this measurement mark right there. So then we're going to take something called an ampule, which I have my kit here. They look like this beforehand. See how they're yellow instead? And what we're going to do is the bottom of this little container has ridges in it. So we're going to put the ampule in the bottom. There's little pockets. I'm going to put it in the little pocket, and I'm going to go... And I broke off the tip. I'm going to let it sit in here for a second. And then I'm going to pull it out, and I'm going to flip it upside down 8 times. So 1. So we want to make sure that bubble is going up to the top and the bottom each time we're turning it over. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set this tube that we broke in with our kit, and we're going to see which color it looks most similar to. So I'm like, oh, it looks like in between these 2 colors to me, the 9 and the 10, so I'll call this a 9. I'm going to pull this one out. Touching the top, make sure not to touch the bottom, because that will ruin the reading. It says that the temperature, it says it's 68 degrees. This one also says it's 68 degrees. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be doing our pH. pH means parts of hydrogen. So this is answering the question of if things are too acidic or alkaline, also known as basic. So we're going to pull out this little spinny tube right here. We have 2 little vials in there, and we have some indicator fluid. And I'll go over what these results mean later, but right now I'm just going to show you how to do it. So usually you'll have these instructions. You're going to take this indicator solution. You're going to be very careful in opening it. I have stained my favorite shirt because one was left upside down. So I am going to, I'll put it in this tube. And what we do is we put 6 drops in. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I have 6 in there. I'm going to put that cap back in. I'm going to put out all of that liquid. I'm going to set this here. I'm going to put the cap back on the indicator solution. set it in the bottom. The next thing that my instructions call me to do is I'm going to fill up the tubes with water. And it's really important to put the indicator in solution in first, because if you don't, it won't mix well. So I'm going to fill it up all the way to the very top. Oh, this is a good blue. So notice how the indicator solution was green and now it's turned into a blue. I'm going to fill this one up to the very top as well. So then with our wheel, I'm going to put the clear tube in the outside. There's 2 holes. I'm going to put it in the outside tube. I'm going to put the one with indicator solution in the inside, because we'll be using this wheel to compare the color here to the color here. So it's really important to have your indicator solution in the inside tube. So then what we do, if you want to come a little bit closer so you can see this a little bit more, we look directly into the sunlight and we twist this until we can see what this color and this color matches. A pH of 9. So I'm going to set this down here and we'll talk about what these results mean when we go back inside and we write down our data. The last test we're going to do is we're going to be doing turbidity. So I'm going to use this turbidity tube. In this tube, we have this disc connected to this tube by a wire. And then we have measurements on the side. So what I'm going to do, if you want to come over here and watch this, is very carefully, I'm going to get in the water, and I'm going to fill this tube up with water all the way to the top. There we go. So the next thing I'm going to do is this little disc. I'm going to pull out this little loop from the inside, and I'm going to drop this disc all the way down to the bottom. Come over, look at it from the top. So that's going to go down. It takes it a little bit of time, but I'll get there eventually. All right, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to look down this tube. Let's see if you can also look down this tube. Okay, well, you can kind of see the markings at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I pull up the tube, I'm going to aim it from the side, until I can see it. So we're looking for that black and white cross marking on here, so I can see it from here, so I'm going to put it down a little bit more. I can still see it. Bruh. So I can still see it, and it's at the very bottom. So I'm going to take the measurement that is at the very bottom.
60 centimeters!
The temperature was 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Our turbidity tube measurement in centimeters was 60. Our pH measurement was 9.0. And our dissolved oxygen was also, I'm going to verify that, was 9 parts per million. So why do these matter? Why are these even important?
Cool. You want to go back to your sheet and we're going to look at the temperature. This is a chart that helps you figure out what your data means. And if we go super close, oh my gosh, there's your 68 degrees. Put it on pause. What does it mean? Okay, you can write these things down. Last thing, how do we affect the temperature of our water and cool it down? I'll give you a hint. You're looking at it right now. Now we're going to write down our stuff about turbidity. Remember, we got 60 centimeters, so our water was super clear. Turbidity is generally not great for animals that live in water. And, you know, there's something you can do that can help the water stay more clear, and it has a lot to do with this guy. All right, time to write down our dissolved oxygen stuff. You're going to want to look at this chart, and we want to remember that we got 9 parts per million of oxygen. Check that out. That means that not only mosquito larvae, but also mayflies, stoneflies, and salmon eggs can live in that water. Oh my gosh, what can we do to make more dissolved oxygen? Oh, it's our friend. And check out this. All right, it's time to write down our last part, pH. This is our chart that shows us where we fell with our 9 reading on pH. So, hot question, is 9 in the best range for most aquatic life? That last question, how can we affect the pH of water in the slough? It's kind of hard, but I will say this. See this when it grows in really warm times, the pH will go up and become more alkaline. So I'll say it again, make that shade. Planting plants next to the water makes the water better. You should plant plants next to the water.